Gen Z should be really cautious of the Gen X rage.
I'm 1982. Technically, that makes me a millennial, raised by the boomers, and I definitely hung out with the Gen X a lot. um, I wish I would really know what the hell you guys did to piss all of them off, but that shit's gonna hit the fan real bad if it didn't already.
Gen Z should be really cautious of the Gen X rage. It's unfortunate that a lot of young people do not comprehend just how harsh the conditions were that Gen X were raised in. Many Gen Xers continuously point out and say that we are the ones that simply survived. Watch to the end of the video to understand what implications there are of the Gen X rage, what Gen Z does not understand about the Gen X rage, and what that means for society. Now let's just go ahead and jump right back into the video.
That's one. It's funny though. Gen X versus Gen Z. Men versus women. Left versus right. Woke versus based. Shit versus more shit. I mean, can't you all see? Division, hate, anger, fear. That's how you get controlled and manipulated the easiest. So I don't know what the hell is all wrong with you. Definitely not that much with Gen X. Thing is, kids, Gen Z, or, like there's loads of you that are very inspiring and smart. But those of you who think that because you've read some books, you ate some shit, and suddenly you're the smartest little assholes in the world and on this planet, life has still so much to show you and to teach you guys. And you can't just go on about and around pointing a finger at everyone and screaming like little entitled brats. When I was about 16 to 20, so between the ages of 16 to 20, I'm not gonna say that everything that we've experienced as children and young generations was great. No, far from it. My parents were fucked, but fact is, they were even more fucked. So whatever they tried, they still tried a little bit better than the generation before. Same goes for us. We're all trying better than the generation before, and that's the whole point. None of us is right or wrong. None of us knows what is best. And none of us is supposed to compete with each other. We are competing with our versions of ourselves from yesterday. That's what the competition is about. Being a better version of yourself. But the fact that you little kids here think that you can come and shit down the necks of the generations who came before you, literally built much of this stuff that you're walking on today for us and for you, and the freedoms you're all enjoying today. We've all been fighting generation after generation for the rest of you to be able to talk shit like this now. Honestly, it's about time for the little snowflake cancel culture to shut the fuck up, go back to the school, go get some work, go get a real life, and stop talking so much nonsense.
You see, guys, there is such a thing as the Gen X rage. A lot of Gen Xers have gone through life with a lot of trauma, trying to process a lot of trauma from their childhood. Okay? A lot of where the leave me alone comes from is from what they went through. By the time a lot of Gen Xers were 10 years old, they understood what life was. They understood people. They had seen the darkness of the world. And a lot of that trauma and abuse came from their parents. The things that the boomers did to Gen X, it was unimaginable. Unimaginable. At 5 years old, I pissed myself. My father came to the school and told me I had two choices. Either he could take me home and leave me there by myself at 5, because he had to go back to work, or I could stay there and sit in my own piss. My home where I lived was literally, it would have taken my father a few minutes to go and get me a clean underwear. I thought he brought me clean underwear. No, he told me he brought me to take me home or stay there. And he just looked at me and could give less of a rat's butt about me. And I didn't want to be alone at home. So I stayed there, sitting in the piss at 5 years old. That, and a lot of Gen Xers would say, at least you didn't sit in your own crap. They're absolutely right. It was only pee. At least it wasn't poop. That was the experience that we had growing up. That's just a little bit of the Gen X experience. Okay? You with the boomers, you could just look at them funny and they might deck you. How many Gen Xers were decked by their fathers? Too many to count. Over nothing. Nothing. He could just be having a bad day. Maybe he heard you wrong. Maybe you didn't walk fast enough. Okay? A lot of Gen Xers went through so much crap growing up. They were so neglected. When they were even allowed in the house, there was no one home. They spent most of their childhoods either outside with the other kids or by themselves. In many cases, total and complete isolation. Gen X is still processing that trauma. And guess what? They don't have time to deal with it because they have work to do. They have been moving their little hands since they were 2 or 3 years old. I remember once saying that by 5 or 6, I was already cooking for myself. And some Gen Xer pops up in the comments and is like, you're one of the lucky ones. At that age, I was still not even allowed to use the stove. So at least you could make food for yourself. All right? We were all on our own. We were treated by crap by all of the adults around us. These people a lot of them were absolute psychopaths. And we still had to survive. We still had to push forward. You don't see us making a million videos talking about the crap college degrees that we went and got, or the trades that we went into that didn't work out, or how life didn't work out despite us pushing and giving our all. No, we're still moving. We're still trucking along and making the best of it. But the Gen Zs, all they do is complain. All they do is rage. They don't understand that Gen X has a rage inside of them, an extreme rage. I never knew what it was. When I started going through, I've had this rage my entire life. All right. And there was a period where I thought it was about relationships and dating, and maybe it was because of how I felt treated by women. And no, it wasn't that. I thought it was the red pill rage, but the thing is, it started in childhood. Long before I had relationships or dating, by the time I was like 5 or 6, I was experiencing this rage. I mean, it was bad. What it is the Gen X rage. We go through life and we just don't care. We just want to be left alone. We don't care about your feelings because, we're still processing our own. We're still dealing with our own crap. We understand how humanity is. We understand people. Really, many of us just don't care. Many of us I'm a Zennial. Many of us just don't care. Honestly, don't care. We've had enough crap in our lives. We don't care. Don't care about your feelings. Don't care about any of it. Don't care about your complaints. None of it. Don't care. But that doesn't mean Gen X won't engage. I saw a comment from someone, and that really inspired me because I want you guys to see this. So basically, I'll give you some context. There's a person who left me a comment, Zeke MX, and he says, "Angry, you've got about 2 seconds to leave YouTube because I'm not playing with you, good old boy." So he leaves me a threat. I reported it to YouTube, of course, and I posted it in the comments. I posted it on the in the community section. It's now it's now called post, but I posted it in my community section, and I wanted you guys to see what's going on. And someone responded, and I don't know if this is a Gen Xer, but this is how a Gen Xer would respond. So The post was, someone left me this comment. I've already reported them to YouTube. The comment you just saw. And then Travis Rhett Wilson responded. Again, this is how a Gen Xer would respond. Don't know if he's a Gen Xer, but this is how a Gen Xer would respond. The most irritating, in all caps, so that means shouting, effing thing about these empty effing threats is when they are so goddamn vague like this. I'm like, dude, just make the damn threat. Don't give me the kitty boy, do this, or else, and that's in all caps, screaming, BS. Or else what? Just effing say it. If you're going to threaten me, do it like you've actually got some effing balls. Finish the damn threat. And that's, again, on all caps. And when you put something in all caps on the internet, that means you're screaming. Or everyone is going to assume you are full of crap. In most cases, I think most people are, screaming again, full of crap. And he said bleep, but I just said crap instead. Guys, I want you to understand. That's Gen X rage. That's just a little bit of Gen X rage right there. All right? You see, if you keep on poking the bear, eventually the bear just gets pissed off and takes care of business, and it goes right back to sleep. And Gen Z keep on poking the bear, and they don't understand the Gen X rage. It is not a joke. It is not a game. It is very serious. And what this means for Gen Z is that Gen Zers are going to find themselves in a world of sadness and a world of trouble. Because Gen X is going to eventually cut them off financially, economically, socially. They think they're stronger than Gen X. They think they're going to go and rob Gen Xers, rob our homes, keep stealing our packages, robbing stores. That doesn't last forever. People eventually catch up to you, and they develop tactics to deal with you. And Gen X is the mess around, find out generation. The boomers are basically leaving the workforce. The people who are actually managing and running these companies are not millennials. They're Gen Xers. And Gen X is on their second win right now. They're moving into the next stage of their lives. Okay? Especially because Gen Z is now leaving the workforce. This basically creates so much opportunity for Gen X to absolutely go and kill it. And while millennials will sit there and cry and basically just take the scraps, Gen X will thrive because Gen X was built during hard times. All right, the ones that are still left are the ones who survived. Let's make that very clear. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. Click the link in the description to get your free copy. Guys, what do you think regarding this? Gen Z needs to be very cautious when it comes to the Gen X rage. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA men walking away, and cheers.